So, hello everybody. I want to check and make sure that everything is working well. I just don't know. Oh, golly. Okay, so hopefully it should be working now. Yeah. Yeah, it's working. Okay, so let's get the TikTok folks started. I think I'm going to need a separate stand for you guys. You know what? I just say to myself, if I didn't have any technical knowledge, what would I have done? I swear. Hello, Auntie Mazuba. Yeah. I just wonder what I would have done if I had zero technical knowledge on how to fix this thing. Hi, Jeffy from Lebanon. Salam alaikum. So sorry everybody for starting so late. I was just having problems with this. I don't know whether it's the browser or the streaming software, the streaming application. I don't even know. I had to redo the permissions because what it was doing, it was using the camera twice. So because it was using the camera twice, it wasn't showing me, you know. So I had to do a quick tech thing to look at that and say, okay, how do I resolve that? Because it was using the camera twice. And so when a device is using a camera twice, the camera is not going to be used, period. Especially if it's being used twice by the same application. So that's what I was troubleshooting. So I apologize for stopping late. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Tochi, aka Papa Dr. Tochi, Mama of the men's and women. Okay. My website is tochi.us, tochi.us. You can get spiritual practice coaching there. You can get consultations, divinations, dream interpretations. You can get courses, um, online courses. You can get books, ebooks. You can download right away. You can get spiritual products and services. You can get products like these bracelets, protection and favor bracelets. You can get the soaps. You can get ritual offerings that you can use, especially if you're coming from an Afrocentric perspective. I have portable altars there, which and portable altars are fantastic for those who are in temporary situations or those who are traveling or those who need to keep their spirituality on the down low because of their family or living circumstances. There was a time I had to keep my spirituality on the down low because of my living circumstances. Okay, so a portable altar was very helpful in that regard. Okay, my YouTube is Dr. Tochi. I have thousands of videos there that can help you in your practical life. Okay, I also have video clips on the platform where you're watching me right now. And the reason why I'm listing all these things so that you know there's a plethora of spiritual material available for your consumption. I also have a membership on Patreon. Okay, so if you want to get extra material, if you want to do one on one rituals with me, Patreon is the way to go. Okay, please take a moment to like and share the video. I appreciate all of you who are liking and hearting and thumbs upping. Okay, that lets the algorithm know that class is in session, okay, and lets other people know that we have started class. And today we're going to talk about fall, autumn rituals, okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about fall rituals. Remember that you need to be practicalizing the material that we're sharing here. Okay, so it's not just for entertainment, it's not just for you to say, oh, okay, I know about this, and go about your business. The idea behind teaching these classes is for you to practicalize it and use it for solving problems in your life. Okay, there are lots of content creators out there who are teaching esoteric stuff and abstract stuff. Okay, and that's fantastic. We need to know those things, okay, because that is part of our knowledge base. But there comes a time when we need to pay the rent. There comes a time when we need to put food on the table. There comes a time that we need to change our mindset. Okay, we're sitting there and feeling sorry for ourselves. Some of you may have seen the video that I posted some hours ago. I went to a party and I posted that video clip just saying this is how I felt. And I like posting things like that because people think that when you're spiritual, all your problems are solved. And I keep saying it, as long as you're inhaling and exhaling, you always have problems. The only people who don't have problems are people in the cemetery. But as long as you inhale and you exhale, you will have problems. You might even have problems inhaling and exhaling. Okay. So from time to time, we need to encourage each other and also show each other what we're going through. So after today's class, I invite you to go look on the platform where you're watching me right now. You will see that video that I posted some hours ago. I was looking pretty. I was looking fly. I'm blessed. I'm educated. I'm papered. I'm lettered. I'm everything. But I still got into a situation where I started doubting myself. And I started, the negative part of my mind started comparing myself to the folks I was looking at. And I was saying, okay, I've got all of these things, but I don't have that. And that's how the mind works. We need to understand that about the mind. We can have all these other things, but we still be wanting other things. Okay. And there's nothing to feel ashamed about. You just understand that that's part of your human experience. You can be wanting all this and having all that, and then because you see somebody else who has what you don't have, you'll be feeling deficient, you'll be feeling less than. And that's a time when you need to call in your spiritual crew and then say to them, hey, I'm indulging in some negative thinking here. This is not what I came here to do. This is not my life path. This is not my destiny. I'm not here to come and start thinking of myself less than. I need your strength. I need your guidance. I need your support. Thank you, Divine Pressure, for the likes. Thank you, Divine Suke, for the likes. I appreciate you. Ms. Bug, hello to you too. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you for the roses. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the roses. Thank you, Divine Suki. So please take a moment to give us a thumbs up and a heart on your platform wherever you are. Thank you, Miss Beck. Okay. That lets the platform send notification to people to let them know that class has started. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you're feeling less than, you need to start relying more on your spirituality. Don't sit there and think that your spirituality, your spiritual practice is just a theoretical thing. It's not a theoretical thing. It's not a theoretical thing. Life is going to come at you. People are going to come at you. And it's not all the time that you're going to be in a position where you have positive people around you. You need to be in alignment with your spiritual crew so that when life comes at you, people come at you, things come at you, you can start speaking to your spiritual crew and saying, hey, look at what's going on. I'm looking at this person and I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm watching this person and I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm seeing this person, I'm hearing this person, and I'm thinking of myself some kind of way. I need you to reassure me. I need you to give me confidence. I need you to let me know that I'm okay just the way I am. And especially for those of us who are women, we get caught up in this body situation. Okay. So we get into this body shaming situation. So we could look at somebody else and we body shame them, or we could look at somebody else and body shame ourselves. Okay, Ms. Bug. All right. And we need to be able to pull back from that. But sometimes, our minds just are on automatic. We start going on automatic. So as we're looking at somebody and we immediately start judging. Am I skinnier than this person? Am I fatter than this person? Does this person have better skin than I do? Are their clothes better than mine, or are my clothes better than theirs? Look at their shoes. Are my shoes better than their shoes? Whose shoes are better? Is their makeup better than my makeup? Am I looking like a frump? And in our minds, we constantly have these comparisons going on. And if we don't feel that the comparisons are going our way, then we start indulging in shame. And one of the most disabling things we can involve ourselves in is shame. We're going to get to the fall rituals, so don't worry, we're going to get to the fall rituals. But I just wanted to share this, okay? One of the most disabling things we can be involved with, engage in, is shame, especially self shame. And there are a whole bunch of people who have written things and done research about shame. For instance, the first person that comes to mind is Bennett Brown, Dr. Bennett Brown. She's at University of Houston, my alma mater. Kind and she did a lot of and she became famous for that, just exploring how shame disables us and how shame prevents us from moving forward in life. And there's sometimes the shame shows up and we don't even know it's shame. We think it's normal to think that way or to talk that way, but it's actually shame. So as you go along your spiritual journey, be on the lookout for the different ways in which shame will rear its ugly head. Okay. Sometimes people will say, oh, I'm so traumatized. Why are you traumatized? Is because you're ashamed. I'm ashamed that this thing happened to me. I'm ashamed that I allowed this thing to happen to me. Shame. Some of us are ashamed that we're dark skinned. Some of us are ashamed that we're fat. Some of us are ashamed that we're obese. Some of us are ashamed that we're uneducated or we're not as educated as other people. Some of us are ashamed that we're not married. Some of us are ashamed that we're not happily married. Some of us are ashamed that we're not married to a rich person. Some of us are ashamed we don't have kids. Some of us are ashamed that we don't have good kids. Some of us are ashamed we don't have sons. Some of us are ashamed we don't have daughters. The list is endless what we can be ashamed about. We can even be ashamed about something as simple as uh, I'm wearing a cheap perfume and everybody's going to know that I'm wearing a cheap perfume. So the things we can be ashamed about is literally limitless. Are you hearing me? If you're hearing me, I need you to say yes, not I, but yes, YES in the comment section. Are you hearing me? If you're hearing me, I want to see your yes in the comment section. Are you hearing me? All right, thank you, Ms. Bug. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It looks like I only have one person on TikTok hearing me. Okay. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you, Everyday Kindness. Thank you, Dr. Karen. Thank you, Princess Rookie Green. Is anyone else on TikTok hearing me? Thank you, Auntie Mizuga. There is an endless list of things that make us ashamed. Thank you, Elder Light. Sometimes y- we're ashamed by our facial features. Oh, my nose is too big. My lips are too thick. Until it becomes fashionable. Remember, there used to be. Some of you might remember it. Maybe the Gen Zs might not. But for those of us who've been around the block or been around the sun several times, remember there was a time when it was shameful to have thick lips, and everybody wanted to have thin lips. Thin lips was in vogue. And if you had thick lips, they would teach you makeup techniques to make your lips look thinner. Some of, if you remember that, let me have your yes. Okay, Ms. Bug says yes. Do you remember that? There was a time they used to teach us how to make our lips thinner, and people make fun of you for having thick lips. But look at it now as trendy. But think of all the people who were traumatized in high school, traumatized in elementary school, traumatized in the workplace in the past for having thick lips, for having full lips, for having luscious lips. Remember, there used to be a time when they would have clothes to minimize your behind. And sometimes if you go to the older people's clothing section or older women's section in the department stores, you'll see it. They have these tops, and they'll have a blouse, and it has an elongated part. The back is a little bit elongated, and the idea behind having a longer, like you have a blouse or a shirt and the back is longer than the front, is to minimize or to hide your behind. Remember, there was a time that if you had a big behind, people would make fun of you and call you big butt. You were walking around with your big butt person. But look at what's in vogue now, people getting BBLs. But think about all the people who were traumatized when it was not in vogue. And the list goes on and on. Oh, your nose is too big. Your teeth are not straight. There are people traumatized by that. Oh, the teeth are not straight. There, you have a gap, all that things. So we need to be able to lean on our spiritual crew and say, I know that people think that this is trendy. I think that people think this is in vogue, or I have succumbed to this kind of thinking that I need to be this certain way, but I need you to set my mind straight. I need you to set my mind straight. Hey, love, you sending them goats. I'm tired of eating goat meat. She's sending me 23 goats. One day I'm going to come on this TikTok and go, okay. And then, thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. If y'all see me going on TikTok, you will understand what's going on. We have this thing going on TikTok. Love 3 be feeding me goats. Okay. So 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 I know it's very easy and very trite for someone to say love yourself. Love yourself. But that's not how the mind works. Especially when we have been programmed for so long. That's not how the mind works. Our the human brain, just like other animal brains, runs on programs. That's why it's so easy for us to get programmed. That's how our mind works. Our mind works on programs. And our brains were the blueprint for computers that we have today. Because the computer is meant to imitate, to mimic, to replicate how the human brain works. And in order to run a computer, you need programs. A computer, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your whatever it is you have, cannot run without programs. And it's the same thing with the physical brain, runs on programs. Same thing with the subconscious brain, it runs on programs. So there's sometimes you're thinking something and you think it's normal to think that thing you're thinking, but it's not normal. It's just a program. And if you find that you're struggling with this program and that the program is degenerating the life outcomes you have, it's preventing you from living the kind of life that you need to do. You need to reprogram. And one of the ways you can reprogram your mind outside of therapy is to align yourself with your spiritual crew and talk to them and tell them what's going on. I don't like the way I am thinking. And that's what I had to do today when I was leaving that party. I had to say to my spiritual crew, I don't like the way I'm thinking about myself. I don't like the way I'm talking to myself. I don't like the way I'm feeling about myself. I don't. I need you to help me. And so I go to bed and wake up this morning and I feel a lot better. Are there some deep rooted programming that needs to be dealt with a therapist? Yes. And sometimes we have to go to a psychotherapist or psychiatrist or psychologist or um, some counselor. Yes, indeed, wise oracle. It's programming. As soon as we come into the world, we're programmed because you cannot succeed in life without programming. Let us understand this because I know a lot of times you see people on social media going, oh, yeah, you've been programmed, and the man is programming you, and the elites are programming you, and this person is programming you, and that person is programming you, your school programs you, and everything. You cannot live on this earth without programming. Let us be very clear about that. You cannot live successfully on this earth with zero programming. So I don't care what people of the conspiracy theory keep talking about, yeah, this person trying to program you and the other person trying to program you. Let's say, for instance, you have a computer and you're running Firefox as your browser, and you get tired of Firefox, you know you can go and install Google Chrome. And if you don't want Google Chrome, you can go use Microsoft Edge. And if you don't like Microsoft Edge, you can use DuckDuckGo. If you don't like DuckDuckGo, you can use Safari if you're using a Mac. If you don't like any of those, you can use Tor. So if we can do this with our computers, doesn't it make sense that our minds, which are the blueprint for the computers, can be similarly used? Yeah, we can do the same thing for ourselves. If I don't like the software on my computer, I can uninstall it and install something else. I can upgrade it. If I don't like the version that is running, I can upgrade it and run an upgraded version. Congratulations to you, wise oracle. But you will find there will be times that you will not love yourself because the old programming will still kick in now and then. That's what we're talking about. So you will have somebody say, I have done all this work on myself. I've gone to retreats, I've gone to detox, I've been to psychotherapy, I've been to the therapist, psychologist, I've done this, I've been part of this, I'm certified in this, and I went to this program, and I have a PhD in this, and I have a PQH2PP. CHTT in this, and I'm a licensed this, I have certification in this and that. And you will see many of us, we're doing all those things. Okay. And I was a member of this, and I got training in that, and I traveled to Peru, and I went to Ghana. I was with the Aborigines of Australia. But there's one time you're going to be by yourself at night on your bed, and you're going to see something that will trigger you, and the old programming will make its effort to come back. You have to be ready for days like that. That's all I'm saying. You have to be ready for days like that. And the purpose of my sharing the video that I shared earlier on today was to show you that even spiritual practitioners, with all our knowledge and experience, and we provide spiritual counseling, and we coach spiritual practice or do whatever it is that we do, that we too are subject to this stuff. We too are subject to this programming. So don't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself. Oh, I was traumatized. This person did this thing to me and I cannot get over it. Yes, you can. My father did this to me. My mother did this to me. My boyfriend did this to me. My girlfriend did this to me. My child did this to me. I can't get over it. Yes, you can. Find another program to replace that program. Do your due diligence. Go talk to people who know about programming and how to replace programs. Psychotherapists know a lot about this. Psychologists know a lot about this. And there are some counselors who know about this too. Find another program to replace that program. The way I replace that program is by talking to my spiritual crew. That's how I deal with it. I call my spiritual crew. I say, "Hey, I'm believing some bullshit about myself right now. I need your help. Purge my mind." And sometimes you acquired the programming from other people who had that kind of programming. And it's not that they did it deliberately, but that's the only programming they had. So they programmed you with their program. It's just like when you have an old phone and you get a new phone, and the phone company says, "Here, let's help you transfer your programs from your old phone to your new phone." So some of us, we have programming, other people's programming. And we got that programming because that's the programming they had and that's the programming that was available. I just told my friend a few minutes ago, at this moment in my life, I hate my past for trying to what? For you hate your past for trying to steal your future. Your past is not trying to steal your future. It's your programming. You need to replace your programming. And we need to be able to use our spiritual tools to do that. If you need to sit down at your altar, activate your altar, put out things on your altar, start calling on your spiritual crew, then that's what you have to do. And we get programming from everywhere. We get programming from our family, we get programming from our teachers, we get programming from the church, from the mosque, religious leaders, we get programming from our spiritual teachers. Those of us who say, "Oh, we're into indigenous religions," we get programming from there too. We get programming from work. We get programming from TV, from radio, from internet. So we go through rituals this year, we talk about rituals, different kinds of rituals. I want you to be looking at all these rituals we're learning about in 2025 and ask yourself, how can I use this to improve my life? Because if you're not looking at how you can use these things to improve your life, you're wasting your time here. You're not getting the message. You're wasting your time here. It doesn't make sense that I'm teaching, I have thousands of people following me, and they're not demonstrating success, any kind of success in their life. It doesn't make sense to me, and it's no credit to me. And so, this is the reason why I will get up in the night and put out something, get up in the morning and put out something. I experience something and I put out something. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, there's somebody somewhere this thing will help. There is somebody else who is out there teaching other people that that thing will help. And they can take this thing that happened to me and teach it to other people. And that's why I'm the teacher of teachers. That's why I'm the teacher of teachers. Because maybe the way that I'm saying it does not get through to you, but somebody else will take that same thing I said, take that same thing I expressed, and put it in their own words, put it in their own ways, and then you'll get it. But the important point is that you are internalizing this and using it practically. Spiritual practice is a programming. What we're doing here is programming. In order to drive, you have to be programmed. In order to brush your teeth, you have to be programmed. In order to cook, you have to learn the program for cooking. Everything on this planet is programming. In order to understand the traffic lights, it's programming. To be able to go to the market and buy something, walk into the supermarket and purchase something, you have to be programmed to know how to do it. You just don't walk into a supermarket and start screaming and somebody will give you what you want. You have to learn how to go into a supermarket and buy what you want. Pick what you want, get a shopping cart, pick what you want, put it in the shopping cart, and go pay for it. That's a program. And you get to a point where it's automatic and that program is running automatically. So in your mind, you're like, I need some detergent. So you get into your car, program, you drive to the store, program, another program. You get out of the car, walk into the store, that's another program. You go searching for that detergent, that's a program. You get the detergent, you put it in your basket, that's a program. You walk to the cashier and pay for it, that's another program. Then you leave there with your receipt and the detergent. You get back into your car and drive home. That's another program. And then you go use the detergent. That's a program. So if anybody's out here telling you that you don't need to be programmed, they're living in Delulu land. We all need to be programmed. The trick is we need the programs that benefit us and not the programs that don't benefit us. Cat K, whenever I listen to you, it makes me feel like I'm fixing the bad programming I've been carrying. Thank you. You're welcome. It's programming. And many of you know that, I have an engineering background. So we had to learn programming, computer programming, old school computer programming. We had to learn that. And when you learn programming, if you know programming language, you can literally see with your eyes. If I input this, this is going to be the output. And if I don't input this correctly, there's going to be mayhem at the other end. And so that's why you have that phrase, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. And you learn that in programming. If you learn programming languages, you will literally see the results of what you're doing. Okay, if I put in this command, that command, the computer is going to obey these commands in order to give me what I want. That's programming. If I want to have clean teeth, I have to learn how to brush my teeth. I have to know where toothpaste comes from. I have to know where the brush comes from. I have to know how to put together the toothpaste and the toothbrush. I need to know how to apply the toothbrush to my teeth in order to have clean teeth. That's a program. Even animals run on programs. So just don't think it's a human thing. Only human beings run on programs. We all run on programs. Animals, plants run on programs. The universe, as we know it, runs on a program. Everything is programmed. And so you're going to see some people saying, oh, we live in the matrix. You have to escape the matrix. You cannot escape the matrix because if you escape the matrix, you will not exist. You will cease to exist in a physical form. And even our spiritual crew, our spirit guides interact with us based on a program. We set up an altar and we call in our spiritual crew, or we set up, for instance, we can set up an ancestral altar and call in our ancestors. Guess what? That's a program. Because you're setting up your ancestral altar in a certain way, you're calling on them in a certain way, and they show up in a certain way. Your ancestors are not just floating around the planet of Neptune and just hoping that somehow they're going to connect with you. No, you have an ancestral altar or you have some kind of altar or shrine. You do what you need to do there. You call on them, they show up. It's a program. And so, some of us who are spiritual practice coaches, we teach you how to do that so that you do it successfully and get the results. That's what we're doing in our spirituality. We teach you how to do it correctly so that you'll get the kind of outcomes you want. It's programming. Okay? So let's talk about autumn or fall equinox rituals. Okay? So the autumn equinox, also known as the fall equinox, is when the day and night are equal. Okay? Just like the spring equinox. Day hours are equivalent to night hours. So there are 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. And this signifies balance. You're welcome, Love 3. And when we are in the fall or autumn equinox, we're getting ready for winter. We're getting ready to rest. We're getting ready to be buried. Fall is a time to get ready to be buried. Fall is a time for getting rid of things. Fall is the time for letting go of things, especially things that no longer serve you. And remember that the fall equinox or the autumn equinox is different for the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So when it is spring in the northern hemisphere, it is fall in the southern hemisphere. And it flips the other way when the other one comes around. We let go of things in the fall. Fall represents old age, getting ready to retire, going into retirement. We start retiring. We start letting go of things we used to do, things we used to believe in. And we start saying, I'm getting ready to rest. I'm getting ready to be an ancestor. I'm getting ready to descend into the bowels of the earth so that by springtime I will be resurrected. And I can be resurrected through a reincarnation. There are many ways of being resurrected. But fall is a time for putting things at rest. If you have a situation that's been lingering and malingering for a while, doing a ritual on the day of the fall or autumn equinox will be a good time to do that. Let me do a quick Google search for the northern hemisphere. So if I do fall equinox for 2025, it tells me that is the 22nd of September. And I believe 22nd of September is when Libra starts. The sign, the astrological sign of Libra starts. Though that's not particularly related to what we're talking about. Okay. If you have a situation that's been going on for so long and you're like, you know what, I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to do a ritual to let this thing go. That will be a good time to do that ritual. The universe will be in alignment with you. The forces of the earth will be in alignment with you as you do that ritual to let those things go. It's also a time when you can start feeling grateful for what has passed. You can be grateful for what you have experienced. You can express gratitude. So it is a period for gathering your people unto you to express gratitude. Does that sound familiar? Thanksgiving. Okay. You have the Hispanic Day of the Dead falls in there somewhere. Halloween falls in there. All Saints Day, All Hallows Day. When we start reaching out to our ancestors, to the ones who have gone beyond, and we say to them, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for letting me know that I'm a giant. Thank you for letting me know that I'm capable. Thank you for letting me know that the roots from which I have emerged are beautiful roots. Those roots may have been scarred, they may have been damaged, they may have been cut, they may have been burnt, they may have been branded, but yet I rise, and yet I rose, and I'm here, and I'm representing you. Thank you for the honor of representing you, my mothers and my fathers, plural. I know some of you were sketchy, but guess what? I've had periods of sketchiness myself. I know some of you were questionable, but I too have had my periods of being questionable. I know some of you were probably not so nice, but I've had my days when I've not been so nice. So it's not a time for me to be passing judgment as to how perfect you were or how perfect you needed to be. No, I am just grateful that you did what you had to do for me to be here. And I don't take it for granted. That I was a soul, I was a spirit out there needing to come to this earth to fulfill a destiny, and you were the continuous lineage of portals that made it possible for me to emerge here to do what I needed to do. Because if you did not come together in the ways that you came together, the combinations you came together, I would not have come through you. I probably would have come through somewhere else, or I could have been delayed, or whatever the case may be. But I am here. I stand. I rise from your roots. I am grateful. So the autumn, the fall period is a time of gratitude, time of reflection. I've achieved all these things. I've tried all these things. I've experienced all these things. And I'm wiser. I'm not going to make that mistake again. It's a time for reflection. So, rituals that deal with gratitude and reflection and gathering and retiring and letting go will do well during this equinox, okay? It's also a time to prepare for what lies ahead. If you know you are going to go through a period of solitude, a period of, in metaphysics, we call it when you're going to go dark. The fall equinox is a good time to do a ritual to prepare yourself for going dark. Or, like the young people will say, getting off grid, living off, yeah, getting off the grid. Because there's sometimes, especially if you are a mystic, there are sometimes, if that's your path, not everybody is called to be a mystic, But there are some people who are called to be mystics, and they know they have to have periods of solitude and periods of retreat, periods when they need to withdraw from the people, when they need to go into a spiritual hibernation, spiritual withdrawal, in order to download fresh information, in order to renew themselves, get rejuvenated, so that they can come forth and continue their work or continue their work in a different direction. This will be the time for them to start getting ready for that with their rituals and their ceremonies. Okay. What kind of rituals can you do for this period? What kind of specific rituals can you do? You can put together a gratitude altar. You can start doing divinations to find out what you need to let go of, and then do rituals around letting go of those precise things that the divination revealed that you need to let go of. It's a good time for reconciliation rituals. You're putting your affairs in order. So it's a good time for reconciliation rituals, for forgiveness rituals. And if you go to my YouTube channel, I do have reconciliation and forgiveness rituals. It is also good for pacification rituals. And pacification rituals are somewhat similar to forgiveness rituals, but um, um, they're not exactly forgiveness rituals. Those of you who are advanced members, we have done pacification or appeasement rituals. Those of you who are advanced members, we've done that together. Remember the one with the bundle? Okay, the one we did with the bundle. You can do release rituals. You want to release certain habits, you want to release a certain lifestyle, you want to release certain relationships or people, you want to release certain jobs, you want to release certain fears, you want to release certain programming. Equinox is a good time. This equinox is a good time to do those rituals. It's a time you can start reflecting. What am I doing that I'm not supposed to be doing? Who am I with that I'm not supposed to be with? Okay. What kind of mindset have I been thinking that has not moved me forward? I keep thinking about this. Remember, we just talked about programming. And sometimes people feel, oh, I need to do this during the spring. No, spring is when you start something new, when you have already cleared out the cobwebs from the past during your fall. And during the winter solstice is when you let things die. The fall or the autumn equinox is when you get ready to let things die. Remember, I talked about putting things in order. You're getting ready to let things die. That's when you're looking at that thing and you're saying, I'm going to start now preparing myself to let you go. And when the winter comes, you let it die. You let it leave your life. You let it exit. So that in the spring, you're free to start something new. If you have not watched the spring equinox ritual class, it's posted It's posted on my YouTube. I think Facebook now started a new policy. They're deleting lives after 30 days. I don't know why. So everything's on my YouTube. So we've done spring, we've done summer, we're now doing the autumn or the fall. Okay. This is not a good time for you to be starting new things. This is not a time to be taking up a new religion or new spiritual practice or new. Now is the time to clean out your closet physically, spiritually, psychologically, financially. And there's a way you can work it. There's a way you can work it in such a way that, yes, you're not overtly starting something new, but in a way you're starting something new because you're letting go of what no longer serves you. And so you're creating space for what serves you. If you've been dating certain kinds of people that have not been helping your ministry, this would be a good time to start letting them go. Being honest with yourself, being authentic with yourself, and saying, you know what, I need to be honest with myself. Okay. And if you need to do some shadow work for it, so be it. It's a good period for doing shadow work. You can also do some shadow work during the winter, but you can start that shadow work now. Here are aspects of me that are not serving me. Here are aspects of me that are not um, helping me fulfill my life destiny. So I need to deal with them. And you take them on. You'll find that doing these kinds of rituals during this time will be a lot easier to accomplish than when you're trying to do them some other time. And so that's why when we're talking about these rituals during the solstices and equinoxes, it's the easiest time to get them done. It's not that you can't do them some other time, but this is the time when the energies of our place and time are in alignment and make it a lot easier for you to do these things. Back in the day when you had the mystics and the Gnostics and people of that caliber, this would be the time they'll be getting ready to go off into the desert or go off into the caves to go get some spiritual illumination. Okay. So when September 22 comes around, make sure you use it wisely. You can use it anywhere from a day or two before the 22nd to a day or two after the 22nd. Okay. If you have any questions about this class, please put it in the comment section below this video because I have to run. My blood sugar is kind of low. Okay. So I have to go get something to eat. I wish I could stay to answer questions, but please put it in the comment section below the video. This video, it will be posted, and then I will come back later on to address the questions pertaining to the fall rituals. I hope that the work that I put out here is encouraging to you and useful to you. I hope that the work that I put out here is practical for you. A lot of times we want to jump into the complex things, but we don't have the fundamentals. And I come from the old school where we learn fundamentals first before we jump into complex things. This is the reason why people go and learn complex things and complex rituals. And if you ask them a question about that, they can't answer it because they don't know why they're doing what they're doing, because they don't have the fundamental knowledge about what they're doing or why they're doing what they're doing, or why someone is saying do this. And a lot of times people don't even recognize when they're doing the wrong thing because they don't have the fundamental information. If you run up to someone who says that they are a spiritual practitioner and they're asking you to do this, that, do you understand why they're asking you to do those things? If you're present at a ritual, how do you know that that ritual is being conducted correctly? How do you know it's being conducted incorrectly? Because some of us were just so concerned, oh, I just pay my money and have them do this for me. How do you know if they're doing it correctly or incorrectly? It's when you have the fundamentals. You have to have the fundamentals. You have to understand the fundamentals so that when you're looking at what somebody's doing, you can identify what you're looking at. And pretty much, I would say 90% of the rituals I attend, I can look at it and tell you what this is for, that's for, this is for, that's for, this is for. And I can tell you without even being a member of your religion or your spiritual tradition or path, I can tell you just looking at what you've laid out for your ritual if it's complete or incomplete. And the reason why I can do that is not because I'm super smart, even though I'm super smart, but the reason why I do that is because of experience. I have the fundamentals. I know what needs to be there in order for that ritual to move forward. And you need to know that too. So that's why I teach these fundamental classes. Because there's no point going into all this other esoteric stuff. Oh, yeah, and this happens and that, and the spirit of this and the spirit of the other. Or and then this person did this to the other, and then the way you do this is you have to hop around on the left leg and stare up at the sky and the other thing. Do you know why you're doing that? Do you know if you're doing it correctly or not? Do you know if you're supposed to be doing it or not? Do you know if you're doing it with a spiritually authorized person or not? You yourself, are you spiritually authorized to do that? How do you know that that is the solution to your problem? About 40 years. Because you might be thinking, oh, yeah, I just saw somebody said on YouTube, I can do this, that, this. And you have a real complicated situation. Are you sure that you're spiritually authorized to do that? To start interacting with spirit guides of different kinds, or spirit guides of a specific kind? Are you spiritually authorized to do that? Some of us just run up in some country. Okay, here, there's some cheap tickets to Ghana. I'm gonna go to Ghana. Then I run down to Ghana, land at Kotoka Airport in Accra, and then I start asking around. Hey, I want to know where are the voodoo people at? Take me to the voodoo people. And then someone looks at me and says, okay, here's a quick way I can make some money. I'm gonna take her somewhere. And they take me to somebody who's out there doing hoo 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 ha 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 bracadabra, putting on a show. And I participate in all of that, and I come back to the United States and I say, oh yeah, I was there in the motherland and I participated and I was empowered. Then why are you struggling with paying your rent? Why are you in conflict with your supervisor at work? You have to know the fundamentals. You just have to know the fundamentals. You have to know the fundamentals. Okay? My website is tochi.us. Okay? Divinations, consultations, spiritual practice coaching, dream interpretations, classes, courses, ebooks, products, bracelets, portable altars, rings, so forth, soaps, practical videos on spirituality, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, advanced membership on Patreon. We are thankful to our Creator, our guardian spirits, our ancestors, and our spirit guides. We are thankful to the unknown masters and the secret teachers. Ashe, Isai, Kamagu, the Koza Lesedi Makwande Bobo. And yet, ho, it is done, is complete, is finished. Amen, Ma'at. Love you all. Thank you for coming to class.